Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios, once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter, we have finally made it. We've made it to chapter 1000. We made it through 2020, we made it through all the terrible things that happened, and we now get our prize at the end of the tunnel. The first chapter of the year is the biggest milestone that One Piece has reached yet. And this is also my first video of 2021. If you look behind me, we have a new background. I got a new calendar for January. I got some new figurines put up. I mean, they're old figurines, like I had them a while back, but they're new to the background. I've, got a new tapestry. No longer does Danny DeVito hover over my shoulder, but I have not changed from what we have back here, though. This is the same monitor setup it's always been. A couple things are still the same. I still have my wanted poster of Luffy and whatnot, but with new things come new changes, and with a new year, it's usually a time where people think, hey, it's time to go out with the old and in with the new, and that kind of fits the big thing that happens in this chapter. Chapter 1000 is titled Straw Hat Luffy. So it starts off with a cover page completing the other half of the cover page we got from chapter 999, where it's a recreation of chapter 100's cover page, but instead of just the original East Blue 5, it includes the rest of the crew, which is really nice. It's a good way to come full circle. It's just like when Oda recreated Romance Dawn when the Straw Hats were first reunited. So it's nice to see that he remembers his roots. He calls back to the old things. It's fun to watch. After that, the chapter commences with the final floor is cleared out of all bad guys by the minks. So the minks that Duke Dogstorm took with him, they were kind of told to retreat after they did their best in their Sulong form trying to fight Kaido and Jack and all of them. Jack was told to retreat, the minks were told to retreat, resulting in the first floor, the top floor of Onigashima being raided by the minks. Now, as we saw with Luffy's climb up to the top, it seems each floor of Onigashima belongs to a different member of the Tobiropo, implying that the top floor must have been Drake's floor, because there was no member of the Tobiropo up there to stop them. We know the floor underneath is Who's Who. I would have to look again, but I'm pretty sure the floor under that is Black Maria's floor, followed by Sasuke's. And then Page 1 and Ulti, I think they share a floor by the way things looked, by the way things turned out. But anyways, the top floor is cleared by the minks who were told to retreat because there was no Tobiropo member to stop them. Luffy, of course, thanks them for clearing the way, tells them that he hasn't forgotten about their protection of Raizo, and proceeds to head up the stairs. Meanwhile, we see Marco is still flying up with Zoro, but he manages to just perfectly hold off both King and Queen. At the same time, yeeting Zoro up to the top, just launching the child and telling him, it's time for you to go do your job. But it got me thinking, Marco, we don't know his bounty. And because we don't know his bounty, we don't really know how terrifying the government sees him. We know he was Whitebeard's second hand. We know he has a mythical zone-type devil fruit, which so far only 5 have been shown throughout the series. But actually, that makes mythical zone fruits rarer than Conqueror's hockey users. That's kind of funny, actually. But anyways, so we don't know exactly how powerful Marco is. He seems to be holding off King and Queen just fine. We may get a whole chapter of 2 versus 1 on this, and because I don't foresee any member of the Straw Hat crew helping him, since they're all trying to make their way up to Kaido. But I'm starting to run in circles with my words. So after that, we cut to Yamato with Momonosuke and Shinobu, and Yamato is telling them about Oden's journal, properly returns it to Momonosuke because it was his father's journal. He deserves to have it back, and then mentions how she found it like nearby the river. The only person I can think of who managed to get that journal to safety is Toki. That Toki took the journal and maybe just chucked it out a window, hoping that by providence it would make it to someone who could take care of it. It did find its way into the hands of Yamato, so I guess that it all worked out in the end. Yamato then proceeds to tell them about the stuff that Oden had written in his journal. So as she's telling them about the journal, she starts to reminisce about her time with Ace, and how Ace was kind of like in the middle of a conversation with her. She tells him, or he tells her, Luffy's dream, and he says like, whoa, hang on, I shouldn't have said that out loud. That was the end of my little brother's dream. And don't you dare laugh at it, because I'll never, Sabo and I will never forgive you about it. And it even brings her to tears, because this is the same thing that the Pirate King said. So it got me thinking, as most things do, if this is Luffy's, if Luffy's dream sounds the same as Gold Roger's dream, then what exactly is Luffy saying? Like, you know how Luffy always says, I'm going to be king of the pirates, and I even looked back on the first time Luffy said it in front of Ace and Sabo, and his exact words were, I'm going to be, and then it sort of dims out. When it comes back in, Ace and Sabo are both very shocked. That being said, why does it, occasionally, why does Oda, wisp off when Luffy goes to say that he's going to be king of the pirates? I don't know if it's for dramatic effect or if I'm just reading way too deep into this, but is Luffy, adding something to this dream that we're just not getting to hear? Or am I really reading way too deep into this? Anyways, so after that, we find out that Yamato is the one who made Ace's Vivre card, and that's sort of how she knew about the fate of Ace, that because one day his Vivre card just up and vanished. The newspapers told her everything she needed to know afterwards, because as Kaido's daughter, she does get access to newspapers, I assume, whereas the rest of Wano is kind of cut off from the world. But that's also how Yamato found out that Luffy is a pirate on the high seas and that he's coming this way, and it reminded her of what Oden wrote in his journal, that 20 years from now, a group of pirates are going to show up. They're going to rush into the new world as the leaders of the future, and if I am dead, which he is, they will be the ones to defeat Kaido. As we finish, hearing that from Yamato, we cut to Luffy on top of Onigashima. Zoro's already there, Kid's there, Killer's there, and Law are there. So it's those 5 guys. On the other side, we see we see Big Mom and Kaido. So it's 2 against 5, but we also know that those 2 are emperors, so it's probably a fair fight at this point. And Kaido and Big Mom are both angry. Big Mom says, oh my gosh, look at all these lovely little heads to chop off. And Kaido goes, hey Linlin, do you know what this brat said to me? You know what Luffy said to me when he first showed up? You know what he said to me? And she was like, I know what he said to you, because he talked a big game to me too. And then he broke my castle, so I'm not happy with him either. And Kaido goes, all right, Luffy, why don't you tell us what you said? And Luffy just ignores them. In typical Luffy fashion, the two of the 4 emperors of the sea staring down at him, and he just walks right past them, doesn't care, goes over to Kinemon, holds him up and says, hey, are you okay? I'm sorry I'm late, buddy. And Kinemon goes, we lost, Luffy. How am I supposed to face Oden? How am I supposed to face him in the next life, knowing we lost to Kaido? And obviously, Kaido is not a fan of being ignored, so he takes his big club and he turns around and he's going to go smack Luffy on the head. And that's when Luffy tells Law to send all the samurai down below. Law does this with his devil fruit power. It's pretty easy for him to do. Just swap them out for some pebbles. But this does imply that the 9 red scabbards are going to be together in a different location, down below. Down below is where Marco is, or at least Chopper. If those two guys can patch up, the samurai, and Orochi shows up, because let's face it, we all know Orochi isn't dead. He has a mythical zone type devil fruit that gives him 8 heads. My guess is he's down to 7. That seems to be a lot of guesses, but I'm also in on this. I think this is going to lead to a fight down below of a injured Orochi, who, he lost a head, so he's got to be in some kind of pain, and an injured, red scabbard group. So this may be like a fight that's going on, kind of like an old era fight down below with a new era fight going on up above. A lot of parallels going on. The Straw Hats are going to finish their fights, and they're going to make it back up there. So you're going to have this huge battle up here and this huge battle down here. It's all good. It's all going to be cool. So that's my theory for what's going to happen to those guys. But anyways, Kaido goes for the swing. Luffy dodges it. And then Luffy goes into Gear 3rd. And at first, I thought it was just Gear 3rd. But then I noticed there's kind of like a steam coming off him. So he may be using Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd at the same time. Like he did back when he fought Gecko Moria. Which would be the first time Luffy's done that since his fight with Gecko Moria. He makes a big Gear 3rd fist. And he releases his new attack, which is called Red Rock. Which, it's Red Hawk, but it's bigger. So, for those of you who don't know, and this is actually some D&D knowledge for me, a rock is like a mythical bird. It's a giant, monstrous falcon, eagle, beast thing. And Luffy takes that Red Rock attack and just pounds Kaido into the ground. Even Big Mom's like, whoa, Kaido, what are you doing? That shouldn't have hurt. And Kaido's, got this impact on his face. And Luffy looks at the two of them and goes, I'm going to surpass you guys. And I'm going to be king of the pirates. What better way to do Chapter 1000 than to just reaffirm the exact same thing we've known since Chapter 1. Luffy is the man who will be the king of the pirates. We know it's going to happen, but now we're going to watch it happen. We are finally at that point. Luffy, with the help of Kid and Killer and Law and Zoro, the 5 of them they're either going to take down Big Mom and Kaido, or they're going to take down one of those two with enough time left for the rest of the crew to show up, and then they're all going to take down the other one. My guess is Big Mom's going down first. That's obviously just a theory. A One Piece theory. But that's what I'm hoping will happen. I would love to see the Straw Hat crew all together fighting an opponent. And who knows? Maybe over the course of this fight, Luffy will manage to convey how advanced armament haki, otherwise known as Ryuo, Luffy may be able to explain Ryuo to Zoro. Zoro will be able to use that with Enma, and then Luffy and Zoro will take on Kaido, while Killer Kid and Law will take on Big Mom. I was about to say Killer Kid and Big Mom will take on Law. That would still be an interesting fight, but you know what I mean. Anyways, this is an exciting year ahead of us. So if things go as they normally do, with a weekly episode of One Piece, we may be looking at episode 1000 coming out later this year, perhaps near the end of the year. I wouldn't say it's going to be the last episode. If things get really crazy, this may become like the first episode of 2022 would be episode 1000. That'd be pretty crazy. But we're looking forward to another year of One Piece. This will be my first whole year covering it, because I believe I started back in either August or September of 2020. But all that aside, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.